this episode, what did we talk about, Letitia? We looked at the COVID jabs,
and their effects, yeah, and vitamin D.
how that works with the world of MS, how your family relationships work, and how that affects them as much as it does you.
And we also talked about pacing again, pacing in life.
Back to that pacing.
Pacing.
I hope there's things in here that will be helpful, useful, and thoroughly amusing. Because we just think they are.
Enjoy the episode. Orange, nails and rails. So we've done a few of these episodes of Multiple Shenanigans now, and thank you for watching, and thank you for interacting with us. So we've had a little bit of feedback, so that's been really interesting. So we thought we'd mention one of the bits of feedback that we've had just recently. Did you want to talk about that, Jeanette?
Yeah, so just when we were talking about interruptions, people were saying, yeah, I have this too. One person said it happens when they're doing calls at work and they're worried it makes them look really unprofessional. And another person said, oh, my husband's always saying, oh, stop doing that. And then a few people had said that then they keep quiet because of that, which I found really, really sad. And it just felt like this is a thing that needs talking about more so that people know how to deal with it without that being the way to deal with it. Like, that's not an okay solution, I don't think.
I think people respond differently, I think, but perhaps not saying anything rather than saying in the wrong place. I think you might be losing a little bit of, I would feel I was losing a bit of myself if I wasn't interacting.
It's a difficult one because sometimes there's things you can't win in, and it's probably for self-preservation reasons better to just be a bit quieter or just let it go past you, and just that's the sensible course of action, just to think, I don't need this right now. I don't think there's any right answers to it, but
I think people talking about it, like we were talking about it about amongst ourselves, and realising that you're not the only person that does it, and that there's a reason why you do it. It's not because you're just not interested in anybody else. I think for me that's helped a lot, just talking about. It's a bizarre thing, but it's a thing, and with a lot of conditions, and unless you talk to other people that have a similar issue, you don't realise that odd thing that you think is just you and you feel a bit odd about actually might just be a symptom.
Yeah, it's not just a negative part of your personality that you need to keep away from people. It's just a reality of something that's going on in your body and your brain. And yeah, like you say, it helps to just talk about it and normalise it a little bit.
But understand it's not just you. I think that makes a big difference.
Yeah, it's really easy to take on, although I admit to readily looking for people to blame in various situations. It's not good to start taking the blame for these kind of things, like when it's just not your fault.
Yeah, but being aware of them, but being aware that it's not a deliberate thing that you're doing makes a big difference. If any issues do come up that we've mentioned that people want to, raise or discuss, feel free to get in touch. That's great. We welcome interaction and look forward to feedback. What have you been up to this week, Jeanette? What shenanigans have you been up to?
Well, we had a bit of an incident. I was really proud of myself because it's a bit grim. You know, you get in your bathroom those bits that the stuff, the sticky stuff down the side. This will
See,
actually, yeah, will slightly relate to what I'll talk about later. But anyway, that had gone a bit grim and mouldy. So I got a top tip about how to bleach it, but twist bits of paper so you put it on, leave it overnight, and it completely went.
wow.
I was messing around in the bathroom. It was a little bit less, so I'd put it again. But on leaving the bathroom, I left had like a shower glass thing slightly open. And I was like, I'm going to clean the whole bathroom now. I was still excited, as much as excitement you can get about cleaning the whole bathroom. Feeling pretty smug. Going to the kitchen, and then I hear this massive crash. So I've left the screen open. Alex has come in, hit
Oh,
into the screen, and it's like exploded everywhere.
oh no! The amazing exploding glass door.
I've never seen so much glass from one. It felt like there was 3 panes worth of glass. It was just
Was
everywhere.
was Alex okay?
A little. He did look like what has just happened. He had done it before. However, that obviously was like that killed it for good.
So when you say you've done it before, you've shattered the glass before or just crashed into it?
No, he's crashed into it before. So there was a like, can you stop leaving this open conversation had happened. And his foot was all like speckled with blood.
Oh no!
But he cleaned that up and he said it healed pretty well. It wasn't, it looked worse than it was. So that was dramatic. Now we don't have a shower screen, so you either got to have a bath or really crouch into the corner and just let it come onto you. Yeah, that was fun. Had my vaccine.
Ah, you're a step ahead of me. I've got mine tomorrow.
Now, I was pretty ill on the day, but I don't want to put anyone off because I'm fine and I'm
No,
very
but I think it's really useful to hear how it affects you.
yeah, and I generally do get pretty bad reactions to things like that. Just got very very cold. Um, all of a sudden, I was just like, I'm freezing. Put myself in a blanket. No, put a spare duvet over me. Put the fire on. Put the heating on, and a hat. I was like still shivering. I just had to go to bed, and then I was boiling. Then I was freezing. So I felt pretty ill on the first day, and a bit knackered for the next few days. But all good. I'm just delighted to have had it.
Yeah. Yeah, I have to say I'm not looking forward to the after effects, but I am looking forward to having the vaccine. So yeah. I think from reading messages on various MS sites, there's been quite a range of reactions to it. Some people have been fine or just had a little bit of an arm ache, and other people have had similar reactions to yours, that last a couple of days. And yeah,
No big
I've,
deal.
can- I've cancelled my weekend plans with me having my jab on the Friday, so yeah. Not that I had any.
Yeah. Nobody does right now. But yeah, no, it was definitely. It feels a relief to be in that stage of things. I did moan loads on Thursday night. I'm dying, but
That's all right.
I don't.
So you've had an incident with shattered glass everywhere and a vaccine, but in that order.
No, vaccine was first. Class was.
So can you blame the vaccine on the leaving the glass door open?
Yeah, I really did try to blame other things. You know what? And even worse, it gets worse because I was just being all like, I'm just going to drink my cup of tea and then we'll clean the bathroom. Aren't I good? But I had taken Alex's from the bathroom, his like dressing gown. When I'd nipped in there, I was just like, oh, I'm just going to put this on quickly. And and then I left it on the side somewhere, and he was just collecting it, putting it back when he went in to collide with the thing. So all of it on many levels was my fault. And
Yeah.
I did try and think of reasons why it might not be my fault. Like I toyed with, why did it look where you're going? But I felt that was just very mean. But yeah, it was my fault. Yeah, what you gonna do?
One of those things. Yeah. Well, I've so far not broken any windows, but I do have a window incident story. So it's glass related, but it's not the shower, it was actually my front bay window. So a couple of episodes ago we talked about doing things a bit rash or overcompensating for being cautious. So I was thinking about that and thinking that I ought to not do that sort of thing. And last weekend, I've had a sofa bed sat in my front room for a long time because a friend of mine had been waiting for the keys for the property that she bought in July that she got the keys for last week in the end of February. So
Wow.
that's how long it's taken for house purchase to go through at the minute. But the sofa bed went, and I could get to behind the sofa bed. It was hiding the two cracks that I polyfillered 2-3 years ago when the sofa bed went there. But now I could see them. And when I knew that the sofa was going to be going in the next week, I thought, oh good, I can just finish that little bit of papering and make it all neat and tidy, and then it'll look nice. But you know, a little job that doesn't quite stay little. So when I looked at it, you couldn't just put the paper back over because it's a papered wall that had been painted. And when the person that did it had cut the paper to do the filler, they hadn't done a very neat job of it.
So that's their fault.
I know, these people. So I assessed the situation in my bestest, and then rang a friend of mine who does decorating and sent her the pictures, and she said, well, you're best off just cutting down the sides. Whoever did that's made quite a mess of it, so you'll need to tidy it up and sand it down. I was like, yeah, that was me. Okay, tidy it up and sand it down, and then if it was me, I would paint, because I was saying to her, should I just paint the bottom bit, but then it would be different colour because it was originally painted about 10 years ago with a made up colour, so it's not like you can even get a similar colour.
Yeah, they're a pain actually in that
A
sense.
slightly orangey colour, in fact, going with the theme of the day. So she said, well, if it was me and I was doing it, I would do the whole bay because then you've just got one set of edges to worry about going over the colour. I was like, oh, that's quite a lot more than I planned to decorate. But she said, if you do it anywhere else, you'll have a lot more fiddly bits to do, and I'm not very good at fiddly bits. So,
No.
right, okay. Pace yourself. Be sensible. Don't go rushing down a mountain on your own in a blizzard kind of mentality, I thought. Be sensible. So I was reflecting on our, was it Blue Interruptions episode?
Red snow because of
Red
the
Snow.
snow.
Yes, yes. So I thought about that. And so I spent one day preparing it and then had 2 days off. And then I spent another day painting it all and then had a rest. And then today I've just put the final coat on. It's not perfect, but I'm not doing any more. It's done. It's done enough to not look like those two sticky out bits where I did a bad filler job. So I have feel that I've been a little bit sensible when dealing with my orange wall, which is now taupe. I went with taupe because I had that tin of paint in the house, so that seemed to be the one to go with.
Yeah.
And yeah, but I was, when I went up the ladder, I spoke to a friend and said I was, doing this, and they went, do you think it's wise that you do this? I was like, well, I'm sure I can do a little bit of painting. I was like, yeah, but a turtle tumbrage in this time is not a good thing. Yeah. But I felt quite safe on my step ladder, and I was always got my step ladder, and I was holding onto the window all the time. So I thought I was being really sensible, and I was. I didn't fall off. I didn't turtle Tunbridge or anything. So I was very pleased with myself. That pacing thing's kind of a good idea, really.
Yeah, yeah, it is. It's a, it's a pain, isn't it? It's just that,
Difficult, very
that
difficult.
sense of doing the sensible thing.
And to be honest, I think if anybody else had done that one job, it would have. Well, it might have taken 2 days because you had to leave the filler bit overnight, but it wouldn't have taken 6 days. It would have been like a half an hour on one day and an hour on the other day. But
Don't
it's
matter.
done.
Yeah, don't matter.
It's done.
I'm on our hands right now.
Very true, very true. So yeah, so that's the shenanigans I've been up to. I've been painting an orange wall grey.
Well, we're bringing orange back today, so that's.
So Jeanette, does your orange outfit have any tail with it?
Well, it doesn't have a particular tell, but it reminds me of something. The time that we went to a friend's wedding in, I was going to say it straight up and then it's gone, a southern place by the sea. um, no, it's gone. I didn't wear it to the wedding, but I wore it whilst there. But it's relevant because Christian and Lucy were the people. Christian, I think, should be a good guest for us to have one time because he was in one of our stories. He was the person who said to me, talked to me first about having MS when I didn't know for sure because his mum has also got it, and also he was on dialysis for a long time, so he knows what it's like when your life gets a bit shaken up. And then luckily he got a transplant, and he's very funny. So this is in his honour. One time I think we should get him on here.
Brilliant.
But yeah, and that, it was a really beautiful little town. I wish I could remember what it was called, but it was very nice. And I think when they just made the decision, like, let's go and live in this really beautiful seaside place and make it work. And yeah, I can see
Fantastic.
why when we went there. I was like, yeah, this is nice. So that's what this reminds me of.
So it's got very happy memories of some people that just went and did it.
Went and did it, yeah.
Went and did it. Fabulous. So I'm actually wearing an orange, a burnt orange, silk shirt. Was actually once my mum's, and my mum had a thing about silk. She was really obsessed with silk, and she had a silk wardrobe. We called it the silk wardrobe. It was a wooden wardrobe, but it had silk things inside it. A little wardrobe that she got. And I wanted to read you my little poem I wrote called Mum's Silk Wardrobe.
Oh,
But the day before we started
well,
recording this, I discovered that it has been picked up and will be broadcast on a network who want exclusivity, so I can't share the poem with you today.
that's amazing though. I'm glad. I'm glad you can't share it.
Thank you.
Wow.
So, yes, at some point when I get the link, I'll be able to come back and pop it in with the details, and maybe you can check out Mum's Silk Wardrobe on the network.
That's real good. Oh, I really I'm like, I want to hear about it. I like silk.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I've got a silk pillowcase because I
Ooh.
have hair frizz problems and that remedies it.
Okay, yeah. I had from my mum, funnily enough, silk sleeping bag liner. So when I went away with, like the guides and things like that, and everybody was getting in their sleeping bags, I was sliding into my little silk sleeping bag liner and then getting in my sleeping bag.
That
It was
sounds dead good.
it was, and it was purple, so it was fabulous. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Nice. Oh,
yeah. So that's my orange shirt story. This is it's the last. No, I've kept two of them. My mum was a little bit smaller than me, so they didn't seem to go round me for some reason. I don't know why. yeah, so I've just kept a couple of them, and I don't wear them often, but I just keep them. Yeah, yeah. So there we go.
Oh, that's nice.
So actually, it kind of ties in with our other theme. So that the theme we got from the Book of Randomness this time is nails and rails. So this was from the rail that was inside Mum's silk wardrobe. This orange shirt. I've got all my themes all there. The orange shirt was on the rail inside Mum's silk wardrobe. So there we are. Yeah.
But what about nails?
Oh, nails.
To go with your rails?
Not so good here. My nails are not so good. How are your nails?
They grow very quickly. That's all. They don't look good right now. There's no.
Yeah.
I've not made them look nice.
Do you take vitamin D's?
I was prescribed some vitamin D actually by the last neurologist I had, which I'm still taking.
Yeah, me too. I think it helps my nails because my nails grow quite quickly too. They're all currently broken because I've been putting them in the paint pot and things. I'm not
You should stop doing that.
Is that not how you decorate? Is that why it took me so long? Finger painting on the window wall. Yeah. I did have to remove a nail from the wall though to do my painting.
Oh, that covered bad.
Yeah. And how about your rails? How are your rails doing?
Well, I've used different meanings for my nails and rails. Well, not totally, but the whole phrase reminded me specifically of my dad because rails he has in his loft. I'm involved with this quite a bit because in his loft he has a railway model railway set.
When you first started, I thought in the loft there's loads of rails, and I was just like, okay, what ones that you balance on so you don't fall through the ceiling?
Like sweep.
Like sweep.
No, he's got it's like fully a whole town up there. It's crazy, but he's always buying new trains and stuff. But because he wasn't really know what he's doing on eBay, he phones me up, goes, "Can you buy a train?" And I buy it for him. And have we spoken about this before? I'm like the middleman.
You have mentioned your middle person eBaying, yeah.
So that's where he comes in on that. I think there's no developments in that really. He's just continuing to do that. But also nails because he used to be a joiner. So that also reminds me of my dad, which fits him in with your other story about sweep and roof. People haven't seen that one, it makes no sense. So he used to be a joiner for Nottingham City Council, so he would fit doors and windows in council houses and stuff. As a kid, there was always, which is bringing me back to the incident with the glass, kind of, there was always like workmen stuff in the car. One of which, there was always a big thing of putty you could have a little play with. Well, you're not supposed to, you just leave that alone, but we would because that's fun. And often one of those guns that sealant also comes in. Yeah, so that was always very tempting. He's retired now, but he was somebody who could do your job for you if you wanted. So when here's where it fits with MS as well, because when I had quite a long relapse, I decided that it was really important at that point of time to replace all the doors in our flat. which my
Mhm.
dad could come and help with. And my mum offered to varnish them. My mum and dad are no longer together. They're not, they're not massive enemies, but it's probably best for them not to hang out. um, so my dad would fit a door one day, and then my mum would come the next day to varnish it. And this lasted for a few weeks because of a few doors.
Tag team, I like it.
It was like a nice little time because it was like getting the first time really kind of figuring out what this all meant and kind of having was off work and I was trying to get better a little bit from the relapse. Um, but also it was being with your family and figuring out how this was going to work. And with my dad, we had a little routine where he'd do a bit of door and then we'd have lunch. And we always had fried eggs on toast. And it went from meat, and they were all quite, I'm going to say tolerant, but no, we were just trying to find our feet. Well, I was literally trying to find my feet, but we were all trying to find feet how this was working in terms of like, I'd bring in a cup of tea and would be a bit like, and they're trying to be relaxed about that, like, yeah, you're okay. Don't scold me. You're okay. So it was like getting back into things, and it was just a sounds ridiculous, but quite a nice time of spending time with your family and everybody just seeing what this whole thing was about.
Yeah, yeah. It is an odd thing, isn't it? I mean, I mentioned before about when I got my diagnosis, and I said when I had my major relapse, I said to my mum, "I'm not very well, but don't come yet." But when she did come up, it was kind of, yeah, spending time to go, well, I can do this, I think. Oh, no, I can't. Okay. How are we going to sort that out? So, but just spending some time with your family that you don't normally get to do. I wouldn't recommend it. I would recommend just hanging out with your family.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't go getting MS just to hang out with your family. But
No.
yeah.
But yeah, it's really nice when they kind of, and my mum, yeah, it's not all about my dad. My mum, so she's very loves decorating and stuff, so she would come and like make the doors look nice. But then because she was also retired, she continued to come round like every Friday and help us with jobs and stuff, and for a long time till I was like, we're okay now. I feel bad now. I'm okay. But yeah, that was really nice. She would just come and do a bit of washing or just help out whilst we just wait
Clean the
for
bathroom and put the shower thing back.
yeah, to avoid danger. So yeah, so that's nails and rails, I reckon.
Oh, we were talking about vitamin D. I know a lot of people with MS don't retain vitamin D in their system, which is why they have the supplements to top it up, and that's an MS symptom. So yeah, so every now and then I get a blood test with and check my vitamin D levels. If you're having a blood test anyway, it's worth asking the doctor to check your vitamin D and vitamin B12 levels, just to make sure.
Yeah, there's a lot written about it, isn't there?
One of the fascinating things I think is that MS is more prevalent the further you are from the equator.
Yeah,
So
that's it, isn't it?
yeah, so the less vitamin D you're naturally getting.
You've got to get your D.
Gotta get your D.
Which really means something completely different, doesn't it? Anyway.
Anyway,
Oh.